What is going on, everybody? We're back with another new episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and this week we're talking about episode 9 of season 3, and that episode is entitled Terrarium. My name is Will, and this is my other host,
Caleb, I cast the pods.
and we're about to get into some new Trek. Who dis?
Goodbye, 1966. Yes, the times are a-changing with new stories and sweet kicks and Mr. Warfare dancing. Red alert, set phasers to fun. Incoming message, the podcast has begun. From Pike to Freeman in the mix, let's get our Star Trek fix. Paying homage to the classics. It's new Trek Who Dis. Who dis? It's new Trek Who Dis. Who dis? It's new Trek Who Dis. Who dis? It's new Trek Who Dis. Who dis?
So, Caleb, before we get into a spoiler-filled review, what would you rank the episode out of 5 deltas? And then what would be a little snippet that you would tell people before they went and watched it?
So out of 5 deltas, I would give this one 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 is good.
Yeah. I don't know. For what it is, it's fun. If you're not like, if you haven't seen like every episode, it's kind of it can be like a fun standalone episode. But then if you are caught up, it's the reason for watching it is remember the ending of episode 1 of season 3? Here you go. That's it. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I like it. Well, we'll obviously get into it. I generally would rate this 5 deltas.
Nice.
And that would put it at 3.5, and we round up on this show. So our official rating of the episode is 4 deltas.
Not for me. It's not.
No,
We flipped this week for some reason.
for some reason. And obviously we'll get into it. And my little note is to say that, if you're picking, you heard something good about this, give it a watch. If you've been following right along and you've not been liking these episodes, my recommendation would be watch this episode. So I think that's where we stand. You let us know what you think of the episode, because now we're going to get into spoilers.
Recommend we go to Red Alert.
Red alert!
Okay,
Yeah.
so you sit firmly at 2 deltas. I feel like you're
Yeah.
being generous with that. I feel like you
I'm
didn't
being-
want to say 1.
I don't want to say 1. It's like most episodes of Trek for me. There's parts of it that I enjoy. I like the concept of it.
Okay. Very Mind Games-esque, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Dennis Quaid movie where he hangs out with the other alien.
Well, don't even mention that because that's the whole beginning of my review.
Okay, don't talk about it. But
Don't
I
talk
feel
about
like
Enemy Mine yet.
that's what it was. Enemy Mind.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
not
see.
Mind
So that's,
Games.
that's why you like this episode. You don't even know the name of the movie. So right off the bat, I understand why you guys liked this episode.
Okay.
Like, I get it,
Yep.
I think maybe I'm just too critical. I think maybe I just was in a bad mood, and I think it also because the season's almost over,
Oh, certainly.
it's just too little, too late for me. And I will compare this episode to last season, the episode Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow Again, where I did not like Lahan all of season 1. She has that episode in season 2 where
Yep.
she goes back in time with Kirk.
Yep.
She has to like not kill her grandfather
Right.
and like remember that stuff happened and just try to forget about it. It made me care about her character.
Yes.
So that is done well, in my opinion.
Yes.
This episode feels like they want me to care about Ortegas, and they've done nothing for her character in 3 seasons to make me care about her character. And this episode feels like they're trying to cram it down my throat that like,
yeah.
she's been through stuff, you should like her. It's like, well, I don't like her. I'm not going to like her.
Right.
Like the stuff that happens to her in this episode, yeah, fine, whatever. Like it builds character.
Yeah.
Seeing her like kind of turn around and care about this Gorn happens very quickly. for me. But
Very
also,
good.
like, I get it. I get what you're doing. And then to kill it off and then have it mean nothing. It's just like, I think for me, that's when it was a four. And I was like, I really enjoy this, even though they're trying to like make me care about Ortegas.
Sure.
Then the ending happens, and then it's like, we were doing this to test humans, and humans are so violent. And
Hmm.
it's like, but the Gorn are really bad, though. Like, you've told us how bad they are. But now it's like, no, they can be nice. And then it's like, well, she's dead. And you're going to remember that she's dead, but you're not going to remember talking to us because, yeah, we don't really care.
Right,
So
right.
the ending for me ruined anything that they were
Interesting.
trying to do.
Well, I wonder as we continue our discussion if I'll be able to help with the ending, only solely because I also had a hard time with it and had to go back and watch the last five
Okay.
minutes of it again.
And that's what I told you is like, I don't know if those aliens are important in some other media that I haven't
They're
seen
very
yet.
important. They're very important.
So I figured that that was the case because I know they were dealing with like the Q stuff this season. So I
Hmm.
kind of figured that these alien entities are whatever.
Yes.
Fans like them, or they're at least involved in the future. And
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
The other thing for me is just that first episode, she sees a gourd in the glass in her room and she's terrified.
Yes.
They don't do anything with it.
No,
Two
not
episodes
really.
go by. She puts the entire crew at danger to save Pike and Mbenga, and she gets like relieved of duty for it. Next episode, she's back at piloting. Nothing happened from that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Then in this episode, Uhura puts the entire ship at risk and fudges the numbers to make Pike go through the wormhole to save Ortegas.
Right.
Totally fine. Pike says, I was going to do it either way.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the structural command this season for me, like I think that's one of the key reasons why I don't like Ortegas. I've talked about it before. There's a command on the ship. There's a way that things happen. They want her to be like early Spider-Man. She's quick with a joke.
Hmm.
She's always got to, joke
Yeah.
about stuff. She's always got to have a one-liner. She's got those
Hmm.
cool phrases. She's a cool dude that she can fly the ship. It's great. I don't like that. And I don't like seeing somebody else do something just as bad as she did, but she gets reproof for it. But it's fine for Uhura because they're best friends now. Why are they best friends? Well, because she likes her brother.
Right.
Remember those two episodes where we saw like they're best friends? Like I
Right.
don't feel any connection to to them as friends really. So I think like you were saying before,
Hmm.
the movie Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid, it crashes on that planet. He becomes friends with that alien. It's a great movie. I grew up watching it. Mom and I used to love it. We used to
Yep.
watch it all the time.
Fantastic movie. Yep.
Great movie. But Ortegas is not Dennis Quaid.
Well, no, no, no. I would never
And
compare
and
that.
they have not portrayed her in a way where I can care about her character. And that may be really harsh, but I've held that since season 1 and I just don't feel it.
No,
I just
no,
don't feel it. So
no. Then you shouldn't.
So a lot of
Well, I
stuff
could.
happens on the planet that's cool, and I like a lot of the stuff. I like, I mean,
Yeah.
if this was an Enterprise episode and this was Trip, which I've already seen that episode, where
Right.
he's
Right.
stranded
Right.
on a planet,
Yeah. It's called Dawn. Yeah. So yeah.
it's great. I care
Yeah.
about the character. For me, the crucial point of the episode is if I don't care about the character, the story doesn't do anything for me.
Yes.
So I knew right off the bat when she was like, I'm going to fly through the wormhole and I'm going to drop this buoy. I'm like, well, there's your episode. She's going to get stuck on a planet. She gets stuck on a planet. She sees the light in the distance. I immediately said, it's going to be a Gorn because that's the only thing we've seen from her
Oh,
character
really?
this
Did.
week. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I honestly did. And I'm not trying to be like, well, I can see everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's because it's the only thing she's done this season. She saw the Gorn in the window. She's been
Hmm.
barking against command because she's got PTSD. So
Right.
now there's this episode and she's actually doing stuff. She's like center of screen.
Yeah.
I knew 100% that it was going to be a Gorn and they were going to have to get together to survive, right? I got it. That was fine. And it was fine. And it was good. I enjoyed the communication. I enjoyed the thing, whatever. They're both women
Right.
stranded. They're both pilots. Okay. I got it. But then for the Gorn to be killed at the end, her to keep the memories and move on and just be like, oh, well, it really tanked it for me. But anyway,
No. No. No.
that's
I
it.
totally understand it, and I don't. All of your points are make perfect sense, and I honestly don't have really any contention with it.
If I can take my feelings for Ortegas out,
Yes, which is what.
this episode's a 5. Easy.
That's what I had to do when I was watching it as it was unfolding. I mean, it was sitting squarely at like a 3. And, solely because, like what you're saying, this is a very Star Trekky thing where villain, alien, and Starfleet character are stuck, and now they must
Mm.
come together and make
Yeah.
friendship.
Yeah,
It's
we've seen it.
the movie did it with Dennis Quaid, but we've seen it 4 million times to the point where we saw it with
Hmm.
Kirk and the Gorn, right? We saw it all the way back in the 60s. They do it all the time.
Hmm.
So I was happy to have it because it's a good story mechanic, but I wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. And, the stuff on the ship with Pike and all that, I was more happy about it because it was them.
Hmm.
It was Pike and Spock and Una doing
Right.
stuff with O'Hara. And I was happy
Yeah.
Kirk wasn't on the ship. Chapel wasn't trying to kiss Spock.
Hmm.
La'an wasn't trying to kiss Spock. Like all this stuff. I was happy that that was gone. We just had normal Star Trek bridge stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. You make an excellent point that, here's O'Hara really going over the top and really out of her lane and really annoying about it. Rightfully so, but
Hmm.
still annoying about it. And Pike's just like, whatever. You know,
Yeah, because they're bringing up the needs of the many, right?
yes. Yeah.
Is what they're doing. But even Pike is like, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yes. Yeah. For a continuously subordinate officer. Not that that
Hmm.
should mean that
Yeah,
she should
exactly.
die,
No,
but
that
right.
should weigh heavy on a captain.
Right.
Heavy as the crown.
No, right.
I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, okay. So, or her as her friend. Does she have any other friends on the ship?
Right.
Not
Well,
really. Nobody
apparently
really likes
not.
her.
Remember in that What is Starfleet episode, we kind of learned that she doesn't have friends.
No.
So,
No, she paints airships from the mid 1900s and
of
puts
course.
them on her ship when she's not working on like motorcycles and stuff in her.
Right. So it crashes. I agree with you. It crashes. She goes to the whole opening thing is
Yeah,
blasé.
it's all really good though, but like the
It's not
visuals are
bad,
great.
but it's paint by number. You know where it's
Hmm.
going. And she cracked. Okay, great. I enjoyed all of her disassembling thing, but I kept having this thing that you were having in the back of my
Yeah.
mind, like, well, here's all the motorcycle engine stuff that she's doing in her room.
Hmm.
But we just got that like 2 episodes
Yeah,
ago
yeah.
or 3 episodes, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, but whatever. It's like this thing where you're trying to like enjoy it, but you know you can't enjoy it at the same time. And that's what was happening. And I was just like, whatever. I liked the water bit of her doing whatever with that thing to drink water, whatever.
Yeah. She made freaking water. Well,
Great. I don't have any idea. I do have an idea now, but when it first happened, I should say I had no idea how she could breathe on some moon asteroid thing with the
well, yeah.
blue giant right there. But I think later it's explained. So she's walking around. She sees the thing. Now I see the light. I see the glowing light, and I said to myself in my mind, not out loud, I was like, that seems very familiar. Very
Oh, the actual
the
white
little like
glowing.
flickering light, and I was like
Hmm.
doubtful. Now, I was saying in my mind, Metron. Didn't say anything, just kept watching the thing. When she was walking to the building, the tent, whatever, the shack, and it
Yeah.
was there, I thought that it was going to be a weird. What I was hoping, because I didn't think this was what the episode was going to be, that basically it was going to, like how wormholes typically are like time dilation things.
You were hoping it was going to be Ortegas from the future.
Correct. I
That would have
thought
been cool.
she was going to get to that shack, and it was empty. And then when it was empty, she can't inhabit the same time. So she
Hmm.
was seeing her future self and
Oh,
walking
that's
to
cool.
that point. Can't inhabit the same space, so there's nobody there, and was going to keep having these moments. And then when the Enterprise finally rescues her, she's going to be like an
Mhm.
old lady. And they were going to have to be like, that's how Ortegas leaves the show because she's not can't be in Starfleet anymore
Yeah.
or whatever.
No, and this would have been a good episode to write her off too, but that's
Where
a
it
whole
was
other
going.
topic.
Yeah. So that happens, and I'm like, but I'm still got this thing in the back of my mind. Then the Gorn happens. Adri thinks it's the beast thing that Marie was seeing, and I was like, no, it's a Gorn.
Oh, when you see it cloaked with just the eyes. Yeah.
So the whole thing goes about. Now, the whole time, like you're saying, it's like, okay, I get what they're doing. It's very forced.
Hmm.
But as it goes on, this is when you start to care about her character. When they get to the chess/Gorn board game, by that
Yeah.
point, you're like now interested in how this develops. into that early part where they're learning each other, all that earlier stuff, I wasn't on board with it. I wasn't like, "Man, I'm so invested in all of this." I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, okay, I know where it's going. But by the time, she had bit into the thing, which was a good gag effect. I liked the centipede exploding in her mouth.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, they were
gross,
cool.
but it was good. All that stuff. And the healing of the leg, just it was good, and I was
Hmm.
fine with it. So it's now, I mean, really to blow through a majority of the Gorn stuff. So it happens. The Enterprise is going to save them. All of the weird mechanics of them vaporizing or setting the atmosphere or the thermosphere, whatever it was, on fire
Hmm.
to be a planet-sized flare. Whatever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
Star Trek does weird things.
Yeah.
I don't think it's feasible, but it doesn't matter.
I
Okay.
like them like hiding behind the heat
Yep.
shield. I
It
thought that was
all
cool.
it all like stacks well.
I like the communicator. I liked that the communicator was yes or
Disagree and
no.
agree. Yes, that was very
That was
good. And it
good.
was
Yeah.
cool that the Gorn woman knew English because it made, right? They explained
Hmm.
that, like, well, yeah, we understand you because
They're studying their enemy.
we're
Yeah.
studying you. Yeah, literally all of it. The cool like drop shield that the Gorn drops to keep
Oh, it was
insanity away
cool.
from her. Very cool
It was
stuff.
cool. Yeah.
Also, like dipping the crystal in the thing,
Mm.
put the to make the comm thing work or whatever. All that stuff that she was doing with the Gorn technology was very fascinating.
Yeah, and they're very Klingon in nature, where her being rescued was basically a death sentence because
Yes.
they don't.
No,
It's
you
weakness. Yeah.
right. You would just be slaughtered, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Where it's like in Klingon, you're just dishonored and they wouldn't talk to you. A Gorn will just kill you because it's like,
Yeah.
well, you're useless. So all of that happens, and it's fine. And we can go back and discuss more cool points. So the thing, so it happens. They're coming to get her. They beam down. It's like, okay. La'an
Yeah.
sees the Gorn, opens fires, kills the Gorn woman. Okay. I'm also shocked. Adri's shocked. We're both like, this is terrible. Like, how could this happen? Like, literally, this is what you're going to do. Why would
Yeah.
like all of this stuff that
Hmm.
everybody has the same gut reaction to?
Well, because don't forget, Lana also has like PTSD about the Gorn,
Right,
but like Ortega's never thought about coming out first thing and being like, "Hey, don't shoot." It just was like, "Oh, she's just too exhausted from holding the heat shield." It
right,
was
right.
just like, it was just like, yeah, I know. Obviously,
There's
they're gonna kill the Gorn.
there's
Yeah.
many things there that could have been better. It's fine. So then everybody freezes, transports freeze. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening.
I like how she's like hysterical, and they think that she's just like whatever, crazed or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know
And they're
what
just
they
like, I
thought.
just beam us up. Like she obviously needs medical help.
Yeah, true. And she's looking around. Everybody's frozen in transport, and then I see the toga, and I immediately knew it was a Metron before I even saw him in the cloak and the bald head, and he talked. I knew it was
Hmm.
immediately a Metron. So he's talking, and he goes through the whole thing, and he dialogues out, and then she gets beamed up. We got like a minute into I think or her talking in the room, if I remember correctly,
Yes. Yeah,
and
Uhura literally comes in. She's like, "Hey, I didn't want to talk to you like in the transport room because like there was a bunch of people in there." And
yeah, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like really not honestly paying attention to what's being said
yeah.
between the two of them. So I say to Adri, I say whatever. I repeat a line to Adri that the Metron had said. And she was like, oh no, I think this thing. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I said, can you go back? Can you go back to what? And so we rewind it to that point, and we now like are now focused in on what he is saying. And basically, what he says is that they put these two people on this planet to study them because they're great adversaries and that they don't believe they'll ever achieve
Hmm.
peace. And the way that La'an
Mm.
reacted to seeing the Gorn is proof that humanity is not ready to achieve peace with the Gorn. That La'an basically just having this gut reaction to kill means they require more
Yeah.
study to understand why humans have that reaction to the Gorn.
And they might contact her again in the future, is how he leaves it.
Close. What he says is that
Or they'll study their relationship
they're
later,
going
like
to
human and
study, and what he ends up saying is because she asks, "What am I going to remember?" You'll remember this. You won't remember me, and then in time, we may, when reflecting this, go and change humanity's perception of the Gorn. to have a cleaner study in the
Oh,
future.
I did not pick up on that.
Flash forward in the Kirk episode, a Metron brings the Gorn captain and Kirk to the planet to fight.
Is that is
At the end of the
okay.
episode, after Kirk shoots the Gorn in the chest with the diamonds, a little toga man shows up and he's like, "Hello, Kirk."
I
And
don't remember that.
he talks to him, and that was the whole point of it. So they're
Okay.
literally referencing
Uh-huh.
arenas as a means of they study the Gorn and human relationship for whatever reason because they find it fascinating, and then they put these two characters together. They make
Hmm.
peace, and they're like, "Well, they made peace," and then La'an came down and immediately killed the Gorn without any type of questioning, any type of back and forth. And they were like, "That's interesting. We're probably going to have to do more study on that because that we didn't expect." You flash forward like 5 years or whatever it is, and they now pit a Gorn and another human, two men, against each other to fight to the death,
Hmm.
right? Because of course humans just kill each other. Humans just kill Gorn, and that's like the
Right.
whole thing. And then Kirk injures him, but I think at the end of the episode he saves him.
Yeah.
He's injured,
Yeah,
but he
yeah, yeah.
rescues him. And so then, even though he was trying to kill him, he rescues him, and the Metrons change.
That's right. I do vaguely remember that. That's the whole point of that episode is they give him communicators.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason in my brain I remembered it as just like they both crashed on the planet. But
Right.
yeah, no.
That's why Spock and McCoy and the other Gorns can't come down to the ship because the Metrons are controlling it.
That's right.
So
Okay.
then
Interesting.
you take you take another step out of it, and it's like this episode is called Terrarium, which means basically you're taking something and supplanting it into another location and studying it. And then the episode with Kirk and the captain is called Arena. So now it's a spectacle
Yeah.
to watch two things fight. It's very like
hmm
this.
I think the title is also one of the reasons why I picked up on there being a Gorn on the planet with Ortegas.
Interesting.
Because that's
So,
very much like I'm gonna put these two things together.
yeah.
Okay, well that makes me appreciate the ending a lot more.
So literally what this episode did, which is why it went probably a 3 to a 5 for me, because like I had to divorce myself from the whole Ortegas thing. Because
Yeah.
like you're saying, which I don't disagree. If this ending hadn't happened, it probably would have been a 2 or a 3 for me too. I mean, really, honestly. I don't care. It's like, so what that she builds engines? Like, okay, that's a thing I learned
Yeah.
3 episodes ago. Okay, she has Gorn PTSD. Who doesn't? It's like there's nothing special about her per se. And I didn't necessarily fall more in love with her character. It is very Kirk Rolex with La'an, like you were saying. It's very much like, because at the end you have the game piece on her shelf. It's
hmm
very much like you'll have this memento of this horribly traumatic event, and nobody else can knows about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
that. But to me, this episode legitimately, and I know we're not trying to tie it back into TOS. It's forever broken. But this episode
Well,
at
that
least attempted to explain why Kirk doesn't know the Gorn. It's because the Metrons basically erase everybody's memories.
it's interesting. Like, I appreciate that you like that, but it also surprises me that you, because normally, like, when they try to like tie stuff in, you're just like, but it's not though. Like, it doesn't.
It doesn't tie in, but it was a hard enough try that I could respect it.
I mean, at least like, at least that line of forgetting about the Gorn at least helps a major plot hole
Right.
in
And to
this
me,
series.
we laughed about it. I think, like, not that we were actually giving this credit, but I'd rather have seen this as be a fix to the Gorn situation than Captain Batel is half Gorn and she goes on to make Gorn humanoids. Like,
I don't
no,
know. I
thank.
like that.
I know, but it's. I'd much rather this than the
Mhm.
other. It ties
Well,
more into the Star Trek lore.
I think that's also part of my fear too, is that, like we said from the beginning, like, the second part of Hegemony battle is
Hmm.
like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, but plant zombies and, four and a
Hmm.
half Vulcan. And what if we did like a murder mystery and it's based on Star
Hmm.
Trek, but not really. And then now it's like, all right, we got 2 episodes left. Ortega's PTSD is done because she goes on a planet with a Gorn and she has to survive with a Gorn. So that's done. We've solved that. That's fixed. Season finale. Well, Marie's
Yeah.
probably gonna die. Something bad's gonna happen. I don't know.
I really don't know.
And that's how I just kind of feel jaded in a way where it's like they have these major plot points, but they're like, eh, we'll get to them.
I agree with you.
It just feels fast, and that's for
I
me.
do.
Like this whole episode just felt like it just fixed that thing from season one.
Yeah. I think because it was an episode that I understood from start to finish. It was
Mhm.
an episode that didn't just necessarily end with a bow on top. They didn't
Yeah.
just say like, well, we
True.
rescued her and we killed the Gorn and that sucks. It was like they did actually try to make it something. But I think what I had to just keep doing to make it to get the rating that I did was divorce myself from Ortegas's person and then divorce myself from the fact that like this does fix the problem of connecting to TOS, but
Hmm.
also it doesn't matter what you do at this point. They would have to go and
Yeah.
change like a whole bunch of stuff for this to make sense.
Oh no.
And if they do, if season 4 they keep changing it, then I might go back on some things. If they make these type of plays, I can like it more.
Yeah.
It's a thing where, oh, if you're going to reveal this type of stuff and it doesn't connect to TOS, it's like, well, then it doesn't connect to TOS. It's not a part of that timeline. But if you're going to make big, bold choices, you're going to bring back 60s toga characters that we see in one episode for like
Mhm.
2 minutes, then sure, like I can get behind the idea that you're trying to fix it. You at least respect the fan base enough to look back and say, you know what we did didn't actually make any sense. And we're going to
Yeah.
fix it. And we're going to use in franchise canon to fix it. It's not just like, everybody just forgets randomly because a black hole burns their brains or something. It's like,
Right.
it's a little more interesting than that.
Yeah, I wonder if I would have remembered that from Arena, if I would have felt differently. And I probably
Possible.
would have. Yeah.
It's possible.
So basically, this episode and the premiere of this season kind of resolved the Gorn thing.
100%
They put them back to hibernation.
gone.
I mean, it doesn't explain why they wear togas and stuff when they wake up out of hibernation, but that's just new Trek who dis.
Well, the female Gorn was wearing clothes.
She was wearing like a cloak. Yeah.
But that, and just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
powerful, but
It's
it's
something. And then this directly ties it into TOS.
correct.
So,
It might be worth it for you to watch like the 5 minutes of this episode again and then watch Arena and just see how you feel about it.
well, just you explaining, it makes me appreciate it way more. I guess what is hard for me is that this entire season, I try to
Yes.
divorce myself from a lot of things.
Yes. Insane.
Like, this is just a new Trek show that I enjoy watching because I like the characters.
Yeah.
I don't have to try to put everything into TOS. I don't have to
No.
try to pretend it's the same timeline, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't pull myself out of feeling like I'm supposed to care about Ortegas now all of a sudden at the end of the season, when also like I don't really appreciate what her brother did.
Yes.
So it's like not big on the Ortegases this season at all.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
if they would have put this episode as like episode 3 or 4,
100%.
it would have been much better for me. I probably would have been a little bit higher up on it.
Yeah, and probably whatever they're going to do next episode with Battelle, if they had done that as maybe this episode, like give more of the stick with the Gorn stuff a little bit. Let's let that bleed over into the
Yeah.
episode, like have all that stuff a little tighter together.
Hmm.
Hegemony Part 2, Through the Lens of Time, Terrarium, have all of those kind of closer together so that the bleed off of Gorn stuff kind of sticks around.
But like legitimately, like where I would put it is the episode where Ortegas gets kicked off of piloting the Enterprise.
Oh.
Right. Then the next episode is like, hey, so you're not like reinstated as pilot of the Enterprise, but we want to reinstate you for this specific mission to pilot the shuttlecraft. And it's like she's happy because like, okay, I've been working hard to make up for what I did.
She's going to prove herself.
I'm gonna prove myself. I'm gonna go on
Yeah.
this mission because I'm a good pilot. I can pilot the ship. And
Yeah.
then this happens. I probably would have been suckered in how they wanted me to feel about her. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean?
Yes, yes.
Because it's like, okay, she's trying her best. She's trying to do good.
Yeah.
And now this horrible thing happens, and now she still has to deal with it. And it's much closer to her having PTSD and why she made rash decisions and why
Yeah.
she's been brash this season And now it's like now she resolves it and it's fine, and we can move the frick on to
Yeah.
whatever happens
To
after.
whatever else.
You
Yeah.
know, then 4.5 Vulcans is a fun episode, or Tegas is fun. Whatever.
Right. Right.
I'm fine
Right.
with it, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. They put things in weird.
They
They
did.
put things in weird section. Like so, last season you have the episode where Mbanga kills the Klingon guy at the
Hmm.
end. Next
Hmm.
episode, Sing Fest. Ooh, we're all
Right.
singing,
Right.
which I love that episode. But it's like, okay, that's a really heavy episode, and then like, all right, now we're all singing this week. Woo, we're all
Right.
singing,
Right.
and then they
Yeah.
do the same. It's like they put things weirdly in places. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the issue is they are trying to keep the TOS feel where every episode doesn't necessarily matter to what last week happened, right?
Yeah, but you can't. You just
They
can't. You can't do that.
but then they also continue the plots. So they do both because modern television perpetuates the story. So you can't do it like old episodic television. You just can't anymore.
Mhm.
People
It
don't
feels more.
consume media like that anymore.
Feels more like X-Files to me.
Yes.
Where it's like episode 1 of the season is like Mulder, he discovered this thing that might help him find his sister, and
Right.
then it's like Creature Fest, Creature Fest, Creature Fest, weird episode, weird episode, season finale. Like, oh, he's a little bit closer to
He's a
finding
tiny
his
bit,
how his
yes.
sister got abducted, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so that's your main theme.
Right. That's your
So it was like this
yeah.
season is like your main thing is the Gorn stuff. That being putting them to sleep. Marie is half Gorn. That could be a problem. They
Right.
meet that weird creature that knows the Gorn from centuries and centuries ago.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's now nothing, nothing, nothing. Spock and Chapel. They have a fake wedding because they used to like each other. Now he's with Lon. Blah blah blah. All this weird stuff. Okay, now they're all Vulcans. Okay, now she's gonna deal with the Gorn stuff from the first episode.
Right.
So it just leads me to like, I don't know. They're gonna wrap it
Well,
up next episode with
the
crazy stuff.
you and I both know, unless they don't care and they're going to shoot themselves in their own foot, the next episode is absolutely going to be captivating so that you watch season 4. It's
Yeah, you have to.
100%.
Yeah,
There's no way it's not going to be.
it'll
They'd
be a
have to
major
be
cliffhanger,
right. Exactly.
and then season 4, episode 1, they'll wrap it up in 30 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
And like, well,
And then
next week we're all puppets. Yep. Won't that be
right.
fun? Won't that be
Yeah.
hilarious?
And then about episode 3, I'll give it of season 4, Kirk will be on the Enterprise.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's episode 2. Hey, my ship was in the area. I just thought I'd come
Well,
over
my
and
ship
drink
was
with
stuck
Scotty.
in a wormhole.
I've only ever talked to Admiral Pike once, so
Yeah, so I don't disagree with you, and all of your points are incredibly valid. And I don't think I would have. I think I was just happy for once that this show cared.
I appreciate that you enjoyed this episode. I agree now, retrospectively. Usually it's kind of the reverse because usually retrospectively I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it. And then we talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess it was pretty bad. But this is like, I really was not
No, and it makes perfect sense. I get it.
like thrilled with it. And then now that we've talked about it, I'm like, okay, I kind of appreciate that that's
Yeah, it's a
why.
yeah, it's a challenge because they do it several times in other Star Trek series too, where they make an unlikable character go through something, and you're left with everybody who watches the episode is left with, do I care about this character at the end of this
Yeah.
episode or not? And that's just how it is. And like I said, at no point do I literally seeing the game piece on there didn't make me go like, oh man, that sucks. It made me go like, it's just like the Rolex. It didn't have any meaning to me
Hmm.
because Ortegas is nothing. She's a nothing burger. I don't learn anything else about her in the future. Oh wow, Laan is the 20th great granddaughter
Yeah.
of him. Okay, she's a nothing burger. She's nothing.
That's the problem with those characters specifically is like they don't.
No,
Are they gonna have a standalone show to show
right,
like what ship
exactly.
they go and work on, or
I don't
I
know.
don't care. Like,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and
But I
so
will say I did like Lon more last season after that
oh,
episode.
sure. I do like their characters. They're fun characters. But in the sense of like you're trying to make me care about her, and I know in like 7 episodes she's not going to be a thing anymore. It's like, okay. It's like if you had known when we had started season 1
Oh.
of Next Generation that Tasha was going to die in like 19 episodes, you would have been even
Mhm.
less invested in her character.
Yeah, wow, that's
And
hard. It's hard to be less than this.
No, I know, and that's my point. It's like it's like unless they have a movie or like you said, a tie-in
Mhm.
series where these characters go off and do something, it's like I have no reason to be so invested. So all I have left is to look at the legacy characters and be like, well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't match up. That they would never do this. That would, and you pick it apart to death. And that's just what I've
Yeah.
consistently
Right.
been left with. I think ultimately, as much as I want Anson Mount is a great pike and they're all good, I would have much rathered either this wasn't it such a tight little hole between
Mhm.
series, or it was just a completely different crew. Just make them different people.
Mm.
Show us crazy Matt Decker from Doomsday Machine, where he's the other crazed captain who takes over the Enterprise. Make it that guy. It's like make Anson Mount
Mhm.
Hammond. He's on the Constellation or whatever his ship's name is, and just like we follow these people around, and they do
I don't know. Yeah, I
crazy
agree with you,
stuff.
but I don't think they'd get the fan bases that they do. I think that's why they're so scared to not have Kirk be a part of stuff constantly. Is well, the fanboys need Kirk. Like we gotta put Kirk in here, and we gotta get the legacy characters doing. It's like no, just let Pike be Pike for like 3 seasons.
But you know exactly what really truly happened was Star Trek Discovery season one flopped really hard. Now, obviously, there was a fan base for it, but it flopped across the
Mm,
board because
yeah,
you
never.
had, 15 years of no Star Trek series. Yeah, they had the J.J. Abrams, Chris Pine stuff, but people
Mm,
largely in the
different,
fan bases didn't.
different universe. Yeah.
Right. Discovery comes out, season.
Those movies were for me, people like me
Right,
who
right.
I didn't watch Trek
And,
back then.
and
I
it
was like,
also
ooh,
but it also didn't matter, right? Different. It was a different
yeah.
universe altogether. And so it flops. It goes out the door. They're like, okay, season two. At the end of season one, we show the Enterprise. So what's going to happen in season two? Everybody shows up for season two because, well, the Enterprise. Well, if it's the Enterprise, it means Pike's on that thing, and they opened the door to show that
Hmm.
Christopher Pike is a thing, and he is a part of season two. And the fans screamed so hard,
Yeah.
please make this show with him and get rid of Discovery,
Mm.
that they were like, a moneymaker, and they made Strange New Worlds. Then Strange New Worlds happened, and what happened at the end of that first season was they showed arguably one of the most famous, well-liked episodes of TOS, An Errand of Mercy, which is they fight the
Hmm.
Romulans, right?
Yeah.
And what do? They bring Kirk. They bring Kirk to the show, and the internet explodes. We love it, blah, 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 Kirk, Kirk, Kirk. So that's
Right.
all they
Right.
did. It's a
Yeah.
thing where they're not afraid of the fan base leaving. They're just trying to hook the fan base further to keep them watching new Star Trek. So they
It's
just keep cramming TOS legacy stuff in your face to not make you change the channel.
it's one of those things where it's like when shows happen and the fans are always like, why don't they listen to the fans?
Right.
And you're like, yeah, they should. But also it's like I also respect them for just writing the material that they want to write.
Yes.
Don't listen to the fans. I think
No.
what happens is shows like this where I think they feel like, well, we got to write for the fans, and then
Yes.
they write for the fans, and the fans are either love it or hate it because that's how fans are. Write
Just
your
writing a show.
show.
Yeah.
Don't read fan comments until the show is over.
Right.
Bringing Kirk in at the end of season one, I loved it. I love that episode.
Right. Oh yeah.
When I watched the original, it is so good. It's so precise writing of like this is why Kirk was the better captain for
Right.
this mission. And
For
it's like,
this,
man, that's good. That's really good. I
yeah.
really more of that, please. And
More of
then that
that.
became like, well, Kirk's on board and he's drinking with Scotty. Like, why? Because
Exactly.
the fans
Because
love him.
fan.
I like Kirk too, right?
Yeah.
But this is Pike's ship. I want to see Pike do stuff.
Yeah.
I want to see Pike and Spock because I know there's 8 seasons of Kirk and Spock after this. I already know. I
All
want to
right.
see Pike and Spock do stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I still
yeah.
at this point, right? I mean, still at this point, don't really have a strong understanding of why Spock would betray Kirk and the Enterprise so heavily to bring
For
Pike to Talos 4.
oh, he steals the Enterprise.
Right. It's
He
like,
goes rogue.
why
Yeah.
though, right? They don't have that much of a
Yeah.
camaraderie.
And why didn't he bring him to Marie?
Right.
I am interested to see how they put a nice little bow on that stuff because
Yeah.
that's the important stuff.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and seeing all these other characters now too, it's like I can't remember exactly who steals the Enterprise with Spock, but it's like, but also like Uhura is really close with
mhm,
Pike and served under him forever. And
Yes.
then you know how she is
Oh,
later
yeah.
on. She doesn't even talk about anything or do anything really.
Right.
And it's like so
Oh,
Spock
yeah.
wouldn't have been the only one. It would have been the rest of the crew with Spock that would be like, we have to do this for Pike,
Yeah, 100%.
but it's not.
Because Chapel's on it and Benga's on the ship. Scotty and or her
They don't
are
care
all
about
on the
it.
ship,
Mm-mm.
and nobody cares.
They serve whoever sits in that chair, buddy.
Yep,
They don't care.
they don't. It's
He doesn't even
it's.
have nice hair anymore, so screw him.
I don't know what that is. The only way I find to enjoy that you can enjoy this series is to not try to make it fit to TOS. And I know that's kind of a bold statement when this episode connects heavily to TOS. But it was a thing where I think after getting slapped in the face so many times, I'm a little Stockholm syndrome
Mm-hmm.
where I've been slapped in the face so many times that now when they don't slap you, you're like, oh, well, that's very kind of you.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for actually tying this into something.
right, right. And it's just like, maybe that makes me a little whatever, but I don't know. I was just happy to see them for once care about something and not just be like, Pike has a pompadour and they're all Vulcans, or is
Hmm.
Q a Trelane, or, we're all in the holodeck and it's a murder
I know.
mystery because that's all
Yeah,
important. It's
I
just
know. And
like,
it's like those episodes are fun, but they don't do anything for the story. And you can get away with episodes like that when you have 24 episodes a season,
yes, yes.
not 8. It needs to be tightly written, but anyway.
Well, that was our discussion of Terrarium. Hotly contested a little bit. Still, I'm sure probably on the internet it's hotly contested. I don't typically look at reviews, but
This whole
um,
season's been pretty low, I think.
pretty low, and it's kind of crazy for me, and a little bit for yourself too. That like the second to last episode of season 3, maybe arguably the
The
better,
strongest,
like the
yeah.
strongest episode that
It's the
had something.
it's the best written.
And Shuttle to Kenfori with the Moss zombies, interesting.
I enjoyed it.
There's some
Yeah.
stuff that happens in the season that I enjoy, but it's a really bizarre place to put this type of an episode. We're not quite done
Yeah.
with it, and here it is. So,
Also, her brother's documentary episode would have fit in better after this episode, just saying. But
I'll say.
yeah.
Well, take your turn. Go down to the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Tell us all about it. Tell us how we're wrong. Tell us how we're right,
Yeah.
and why you keep watching the show like we do.
Tell us
And
why you would eat giant centipedes.
what do they taste like? And probably our general recommendation is no matter what Star Trek episode we've been talking about, whether it's Next Generation or this, is go and watch Enemy Mines.
Enemy Mines is great. Then I would recommend watching this and then watch Arena right after.
Ooh, there you go. Well, thanks everybody so much for watching. Do all the fun, excellent things down below. Shoot this video out into the thermosphere of YouTube. Burn it, flare it out, just like Ortegas, because she flies the ship, and we're always watching strange new worlds.
One more time. One more time.